Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Drew High here. I'm with my man Noah, my
Hey,
guy Joey.
Hey, hey.
We are here for episode 2 of the Sound Table.
deuces.
So excited for today's guest. But first, Joey, my man, how are you doing?
I am living the dream, but the dream is a waking nightmare.
Whoa, that's so deep. It's like a puddle. Um, my man Noah, how are you doing?
I think I'm doing better than Joey, so that's
That's fair.
Here we go. So let's talk about our guest today. I like to refer to him as a living legend in the Seattle area. He is the two-time winner of the James Beard Award for Best Chef in the Northwest, as well as the Best New Restaurant. He's the owner of June Baby, Solare, Lucinda Grain Bar. The one, the only, Eduardo Jordan is our guest. Um, Great interview. We pre-recorded. We cover a lot of topics. We hope you guys stay tuned, and we'll be coming back later to digest a little bit of what we spoke about. You guys ready?
yes, sir.
Let's do it. Hey, what's good, everybody? We are back at the Sound Table with our, I want to call him a celebrity chef, restaurateur, entrepreneur. The sweatshirt says it all. Chitlins in the building. My guy, Eduardo Jordan. Okay. So
Thanks for coming in,
thank
Ed.
you for thank you for coming in. Thank you for coming and joining us. I know things are kind of crazy right now. Can you tell a little tell Seattle, tell the world a little bit about yourself for those that don't know who you are?
Yeah, I mean the brief story is I'm originally from St. Petersburg, Florida. I learned how to cook at a very young age in my mom and my grandmother's kitchen. They're both Southerners, so that was the foundation of my cooking. I went off to the University of Florida, dual degrees in sports management and business administration. Graduated, was supposed to go work with the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. I did, and then I determined once I was there that wasn't going to be the career path for me, and so I set off to go to culinary school. Culinary School of Cordon Bleu in Orlando, Florida. Graduated with honors. Decided that the only way I'm going to be the best is that I got to go work with the best. So started traveling the country, worked at places like the French Laundry, worked here in Washington State at the Herb Farm in Woodinville, Washington, Per Se restaurant in New York City. Spent some time in Italy, traveled the world, came back to Seattle, and settled down at a couple cool restaurants, Sick and Spruce and Bar Sayor, before I started opening my own restaurants. So I have 3 beautiful restaurants here in Seattle. Solare Restaurant was opened 5 years ago. June Baby Restaurant opened 3 years ago, and Lucinda Grain Bar about a year, almost a year and a half now.
Okay. First question off the bat, what made you, after traveling all over the world, what made you choose Seattle?
Well, I mean, Seattle's a great city, man. The produce here, the farmers, the seafood. When we just talk about the restaurant industry, there's and being that I'm a chef, like there was just so much draw for me to be here. I call it like the land of opportunity. We have some of the best produce in the world here. I mean, you can just go to Pike Market and you just can see, the bounty of beauty that we have. So I was already drawn because of like the ability and have that access to great ingredients. Being out going foraging for mushrooms and things of that nature, like all of that was a draw.
So you do all that yourself?
I do a lot. I do a lot. I don't go foraging a lot, but I'm doing the sourcing because I have people that, that I depend on, that I trust, that are going to bring me the best ingredients, that are growing the best ingredients. So, that's part of my role.
All right. So you came to Seattle, you're the James Beard Award winner, best chef, Northwest, best Northwest new restaurant, all these things. And then boom, COVID happens, right? We have to hit pause, right? The restaurant industry specifically, was one of the most impacted with closures taking place. What was your initial reaction to the pandemic as it touched down here and touched your businesses?
Well, I mean, the pandemic, it hit the entire state of Washington, I guess, in like March when the shutdown happened. But as a restaurant industry, we start feeling the effects of the pandemic in January. Because like we knew about it was happening. We knew a couple of cases on the east side. where some elderly were dying or died in like the homes. And so we started experiencing a decline in business slowly. But we prepare for that, like that's staffing issues that we do, don't buy as much food. And so like we kind of pare it down. But when can I curse?
Go for it.
Yeah.
Go for it.
When shit hit the fan, like it was real. When, March 16 pretty much happened and the shutdown happened, I think that was the exact date that Governor Inslee put us on shutdown. We thought it was going to be like a 2-week shutdown. Everyone go into their quarantine mode and shut it all down. But it just kept dragging on and dragging on. But we started pivoting from day one. Like we knew that something was going to happen, but we also was hopeful that like this would kind of relieve itself, by the end of March. But that wasn't the case. So
speaking of the shutdown, that March 16th hit, we thought it was going to be 2 weeks, like you said. How do you think the local government balanced and handled that? I mean, it's your time to criticize a little bit. Do you think the measures put in place were accurate? Were they too far? Did they hinder you? Like, what would you like to see a little different?
I mean, I personally have to commend our local government, at least compared to what our federal government, passed along as information. You got to understand, like, the COVID understanding and information, it was changing like every week. Yeah. Oh, it's in the air. Oh, 6 feet away. No, actually you need to be 12 feet away. Then you 9 feet away. Oh, 6 feet away. You're okay. It's okay to wear a mask, but as long as they're on the side of you, you don't have to wear a mask. It's just like all this information was changing in front of us constantly. And I think like our local officials did what they did as best as they could to deal with the information that was being passed along, and kind of pushed us to go in the right direction, like stay at home. I mean, we shut down a lot and it sucks. Like it hurt a lot of businesses, but I think as a local government did the right thing. Now, how to get back is a whole different story. This pandemic just kept going. There was no stop to it, and still is right now.
So right now, what capacity are you operating at?
Yeah, so like I said, I got 3 restaurants. Lucinda Grain Bar is a small little location. It's like 25 seats. We had to shut that down. Like there's no business going out of there. It's kind of like our warehouse. It's our fulfillment center right now with all the goods that we have. And my 2 restaurants, Solari, when we initially went through the shutdown, we turned that into a community kitchen where we've just been feeding people with food insecurities, those who were laid off. And we did that all the way into August. And then we converted it into a takeout restaurant. June Baby, we converted that right away to a takeout restaurant. I think like the most important thing was give people something comforting, something homey, just to get through these hard times. And we've been a takeout ever since then. We are not doing any dine-in. We haven't done any. I'm just weary of it, kind of scared. I'm the kind of the person that like, as a minority in this industry and all the hustling that I had to do to get the money to open up, I only have one shot to do it. During this pandemic, and I want to make sure that I have like all my T's crossed and I's dotted before I take that chance to be like, I'm gonna bring people in here, and then I have like this massive shutdown, and I'm headline news, June Baby restaurant shut down because of COVID. Like I can't afford to do that.
Yeah, there's an unfair bias in that regard that you have to deal with. So right now I'm gonna let our colorful dude right here, Joey, hop in the mix. Joey had to hop off screen. I don't know what he was doing, bro. But,
I had I'm sorry that I had to do that. Honestly,
y'all saw that though, right?
My dog was barking, and my girlfriend isn't here to make it quiet while I record these things. So I was like, just had to like run out there and give her a treat and beg her to be quiet real fast. So I apologize for that. That's my bad. But anyways, Eduardo, back to you, my man. Like Drew touched on, you picked up, 2 of the most coveted awards that a chef can get here in Seattle. He already mentioned the James Beard Award for Best Chef Northwest and the James Beard Award for Best New Restaurant, June Baby. Yes. What did it mean to you to pick up those things, and has it changed your life in any way? Was that an award you were even aware of before or strived for, or was it something you just felt honored to get?
I mean, all of the above. So I was definitely 100% aware of the James Beard Award. If you are any chef of any caliber and striving in this industry, that's that is the pinnacle of awards in this industry right now. It's kind of like winning the Oscars or winning a Grammy. It is like, it defines like your work in whatever said industry. That's our reward. And so to win one award in any given year, that's a milestone on its own for any chef. To take 2 home, that's like out of this universe. And then also to be a Black chef, like I am the first to take that home in that manner. And also the first Black chef to take home best restaurant of the year. That's for the entire country. That's the entire country. That wasn't just like Seattle or Washington State.
That's incredible.
The entire country. That June Baby restaurant was the best new restaurant that opened up that year for that 12-month period. So it's a feat on its own. One, it's an honor because like it shows the breadth of work that we put in. I put in. I didn't do this overnight. There was over 11 years of hard times and struggling and going down a road that I didn't see many people that looked like me working next to me, that I had to continue to put my head down and get through it and set goals and dreams. So, it was just an honor for my peers to recognize like that body of work that I have done and that we have done as a best new restaurant and as best chef of the Pacific Northwest. So pretty awesome.
It's incredible the things that you've accomplished in a relatively short amount of time. They say that every overnight success takes about a decade to build before anybody sees it. And you are proof that there are different levels to this game. And you are somebody who operates on a high level on both of them, as far as being a business owner, restaurateur, and as a chef, which is definitely an art, a culinary art. Yeah. And as an artist and a businessman, you've made some really interesting moves. Recently, you partnered with Dick's Drive-In for a pop-up.
Oh yeah,
which is a cool concept to see in the food space happening more. A lot of artists do it. Whether they're graphic designers or illustrators or designers, to collaborate with different businesses in their orbit, but on maybe the other side of the spectrum. Yeah. This is a classic example of that. Is you coming in to the Dick's Drive-In franchise, a Seattle staple, in putting your little Midas touch on their products and kind of remixing what they do.
And that was the name of it. It was a remix. It's just showing like one Seattle love.
How did you even make that connection?
All right. So actually, one of my what is called the POS system, my point of sales program and reservation program. Sorry, my reservation programming actually put it together. They helped us put it together. They went around the country and found like 8 chefs or so, and said, who and what is your classic restaurant in your city that you would love to do a collaboration with? And they help us make it happen. And Dick's resonates with Seattle when you having those late night parties and you had a little too many whiskeys or gins, and you're getting that little sleepy eye and you need something for the belly. Like Dick's calls you all the time. When folks are coming in town, you think of places like Dick's. You got other classic places like Canlis, and we got some locations in the international district. But like Dick's resonates with me, and it was
the Mix-a-Lot put it on the map.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm a big burger guy, so I was like, it was just fitting. So
hold on, real quick. What exactly was the remix at Dick's? Like, I'm trying to figure out, what did you do to like help me?
Yeah, so we took the deluxe burger. We took off their sauce, their special sauce. I put on my house-made pimento cheese that we also got in Whole Foods. So that's a shout out for Whole Foods for letting us get that up in their market. We also got in some other local stores too. But we incorporated our pimento cheese on the deluxe burger. We made a spicy Cajun sauce that went with the fries that evening. And then we took the standard vanilla milkshake, and then we added in our sweet potato cookie crumbers to make pretty much like a wintertime spice milkshake. So it was a combo package. that we did that collaboration for 3 days last week or so. Like, wow, it's pretty recent.
Wow. And how did it go over? How was it received by the
It
public?
went well despite COVID. Like, it, you know, the reality, like, if COVID was not here, we would have had a line wrapped around a corner.
Yeah.
But we had to put parameters in there where we had to space it out. So we spaced the day out. And then we gave people call slots or reservation slots to come pick up their meals. So it's, you know, it's like 10 people every 15 minutes rather than like 1,000 people waiting in line, you know, to get the burger. So we did it over the course of 3 days, and it was fun. It was safe, and it, you know, it was great for both entities as we did that collaboration, showing like, you know, the best of both worlds in Seattle in the hospitality industry.
That's crazy, bro.
You said you said your reservation system set that up. What system is that? Are you talking like your CRM or
Like Resy? So we use Resy. Yeah.
Got it. Okay, that's cool that they kind of do some legwork for you.
Yeah, no doubt. Like, you know, I partner and do collaboration with people that like can vibe with what I already do. You know, I try to be as organic as possible when collaborations happen, because I'm not trying to be stretched to do something that someone else wants me to do. I'm trying to be true to myself. And so anytime I sign up for anything or people ask me to do it, I'm doing it because like I would have done it anyway. You actually didn't have to ask me. I'm doing it because like I felt good about it.
That's
Sure.
what's up.
So I'm also part owner in an entertainment concept here in downtown Bellevue.
Uh-huh.
And so I want to know, I'm also obviously dependent on food and beverage. That's my livelihood. And hearing you talk about, I didn't really have that ability to risk it. Like I felt that in my bones because I know exactly what you mean. I have a question regarding that to hinker back to COVID. What do you think the future holds for us post-COVID? Do you think that things are going to get back to normal once we get a vaccine? Or do you think things like volume takeout and social distancing are here to stay for the next 5 or 10 years?
Yeah. So are you nightclub?
No, it's an entertainment venue. So we have golf, mini golf, and stuff.
Oh, word up. Yeah. I may not be able to speak totally on that. I can definitely speak on the entertainment or the hospitality industry. I think we're gonna have to rethink the way we run our businesses in general, and the way we write our business plans. We've been always focused on getting in as many people into our locations, our brick and mortar, as possible to make money. And now we got to figure out how to have those extra cushion, which is takeout now. I was not a takeout restaurant before, but guess what? Takeout is going to be probably highly incorporated into my new business format when we get back to normal. A vaccine will get us back to 75%, 85% normal. But, you know, the restaurant industry always been fragile. It's been, you know, very razor thin margins. And so we have to be innovators now. We're still going to have to pivot. We're not going to be able to slow down. Like I've done so many cool things now since COVID because like, one, I have a little bit more time, but actually I'm hustling my butt off because like, that's in my blood, one, but I'm going back to like, you know, ground zero, square one. When I first opened up my doors, I was there every day. I was hustling my butt off. I did whatever I can to survive. And that's what we're going to have to do until we build a new format that makes sense. If that's lower rent markets now, you know, taxing our customers more and our customers understand like why we have to do this and they support that format. You know, figuring out how to lower our costs, having less full service restaurants and people understand like they're not going to have someone there, they're dying beckoning to pour wine all the time. Like we're going to have to figure it all out if we don't.
Well, if they do, they got to be able to pay for it.
Correct. Yeah. If they want that kind of service, they're going to have to pay for it. You're right about that. 100%. Yeah. So.
Okay. And then I wanted to pivot a little bit. So I follow June Baby on social media a lot. I love food. I love food porn. I love watching it. But obviously I've seen.
You say you love food and porn?
I love.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That, right?
Demonetized.
I'm pretty sure that was a good pause between.
I find the need to balance, and I find a healthy balance. But lately, so I've seen, you know, there was posts about voter suppression and, you know, Black suffrage and things of that nature. And I thought that was hugely important to discuss, obviously, in our political climate right now. Was that because of you felt the need to do that as a Black owner in a market that, you know, could be a little bit more diverse? Or is that not so much Eduardo the chef, that's Eduardo the man, feeling that that's your responsibility to make sure that people in your audience are aware and engaging in that?
Well,
Can
I
we
think-
congratulate Noah on that segue real quick? Because he just went from porn to black suffrage, and it was really
It's
skillful. It was,
Yeah.
it was skillful.
Hey, Eduardo, pray for me, bro.
Heard that. No, I think it's a combination of both. I think like the reality is the people that I'm serving in Seattle, they are actually getting out to vote. They're voting. They already got their mission. It's the other folks, my grassroots folks and my grassroots ability. That's what I'm using now, my platform to touch and knock on those doors who follow me and who believe in me, who may not come to my restaurant on the regular, but they understand like the struggles that I've been through, the stories that I'm telling. I'm telling my story because I have a platform to do it. And I think a lot of people don't realize like the suffering, the hardships, the sacrifices that my folks, my ancestors put themselves through to allow us to vote. So it's our obligation to vote now. It's our responsibility to vote. We have a voice and we need to use it. So, you know, the only way we're gonna end like this systemic oppression and injustice is actually we vote the people that are gonna represent us and look out for us. And if we don't get out there and vote, we're doing an injustice to ourselves.
And on that, like real talk, the conversations I have, I'm gonna be real, the conversations I have with Black men are disheartening at times, right? They've been taught like, so this administration, in my opinion, they know they're not going to get the Black vote. Their main goal is to discourage people of color from wanting to vote or participate in the process. Yeah. And that's where the, you know, well, Biden is the lesser of two evils, or it's just the same, or it's nothing's going to change, and it's to get people to say, you know what, I quit because it doesn't benefit me in any way, which is absolutely incorrect. You know, while they're doing that, they're also doing their absolute best to take part in voter suppression, you know, whether it's the Postmaster General, whether it's taking away ballot slots in various states and creating long lines. In Florida, where you are, the voters voted by over 70% to restore voter rights, right, to felons that served their time. And the very next year, they decided to create a law saying, well, you want to get your voters' rights back if you pay all your fines and past due. And then a few billionaires get together and go, hey, we'll pay those fines for you. And now they're fighting that, going, no, they have to pay their own fines. And it's, I mean, literally, it's people don't work that hard to take your vote away. Yeah. To unless your vote actually matters, and trying to convince other Black men that have been dealt, you know, we've systematically the ones that have been dealt that card, right? It's easy for us to say, you know what does it matter? What does it matter? And so I love that you're using your platform and your voice to do that. And
it's super important that we don't get content. And we can go back to the Clinton versus Trump. It's like a lot of people shut their TV off because they thought that Clinton at least took this over, and then the next morning they're waking up and seeing Trump has won. Yep. Because like they didn't actually get out there and vote, not realizing that actually every vote counts, and you have to get out there. You can't just depend on your neighbor to vote for you.
And no. And in reality, the right, because of the Electoral College, it's about a 3-to-1. Like 3 Democrats got to vote for every 1 Republican because of the way the Electoral College is set up. Mm-hmm. So, you know, Hillary Clinton still got, I believe, 5 million more votes, right? Yeah. And lost the Electoral College. So that tells you the kind of math that needs to be done. Like we need to get out and vote.
Right on.
So before we get out here, I know you're a busy man, and it's Saturday, and I imagine you have you know, some orders to fulfill. But I had last question was a 2-parter. Number 1 would be for the aspiring chefs out there, and I had a chef at my venue that was dead set on getting a James Beard Award. He's a great guy, but in interviewing, I met so many chefs, and there are so many spectrums of personality types for chefs. But what would you tell that chef who wants to be you, or who wants to open their first restaurant, who wants to win a James Beard Award? What would be your advice to them? And then second part to that question would just be, what's next for you? I know you just opened your 3rd restaurant, but is there something else on the horizon? Is there another takeover, a remix, or something on the horizon?
Yeah, I answer the first one first. I tell anyone that's going into any industry, like beyond like cooking, is that like it takes patience. Like it takes like a decade to actually get a foundation, figure out a formula, and finding your voice. Jumping into this industry right out of culinary school and thinking that you're going to become a chef and going to win a James Beard Award winning, be a James Beard Award winning chef, like you're already taking the wrong steps. How about learning the basics? Learn from the best, surround yourself around the best, always learn, always be a student, make this your career. And then you can start thinking about like, what is my next steps? I couldn't even think about a James Beard Award until year 12 in my career. That's year 12, not year 2, 12. And that's how long it took for me to even like recognize that that award was out there, that I needed, that I have an opportunity to win that award. And some people do get that lucky draw where they could win and can win. But I knew my path was a lot longer, and I knew that it's going to take patience. It's going to be determination and setting goals and having a plan of action. So, those are kind of like the key tips that I always tell everyone. As for what's next for me, man, I have so many moving things. Like I'm pivoting, I'm moving and shaking. Like that's the hustle in me. Like I said, I got my products in Whole Foods, Ken's Market.
It's awesome.
What's your product? Plug it.
No doubt. So I got the most world famous pimento cheese in Whole Foods, Metro Market. I'm trying to go nationwide. So I'm hustling hard to get, all the channels aligned to get that going. I got my clothing line, Chitlins here. This is officially me.
Oh, word? That's yours?
Great marketing patent right here. This is me here.
Okay.
Tell me you got hoodies. You got hoodies?
We do have hoodies. Yo,
you got hoodies. I'm in.
So check us out. You can go to check us our retail items out on JuneBabySeattle.com. We will be creating a more robust separate website with all the goods later on. But that was part of like this COVID change. Like we the things that I had in my head like last year and the year before, like I now have them going. The retail line.
So what you're saying is we got to have you in studio to have a fashion show with the Chitlin brand. Okay, all right.
Yeah,
okay.
we'll put a link in the description for that.
It's everybody should be wearing these Chitlins. Even if you didn't understand or didn't eat, this is one part of your history. This is about like perseverance. Like right now, doing this COVID land, like this is a prime example of us being survivors, figuring it out, making something out of nothing, and that's what Chitlin line represents for me. This is not just a food. This is like the movement right now.
Eduardo, I got two more rapid fire questions for you. Number one, most underrated fast food item or gas station snack?
Oh Jesus, the corn dog.
Right.
What?
Thank you.
What?
The corn dog.
And it can be sitting there in that window just spinning all the time, but like it's so good, yo.
Second question, best simple food hack, whether it's like adding one ingredient to a simple thing that just changes the whole game. What's your go-to food hack?
One simple ingredient. I'm gonna go old school. Like my mom used to always do Lawry's seasoning and everything.
Okay.
Oh, you're a Lawry's guy.
There was Lawry's houses, there was Johnny's houses, and then there was just MSG houses.
Yeah, no doubt.
Which was my house.
And if you're in the Northwest, they got that Red Robin.
Yeah, right. Right. That hits too.
Yo, before we leave, I mean, see, the thing is, you hitting this with so much knowledge right now that I'm like, I have a question for you. So you mentioned 12 years before you even thought of a James Beard Award, right?
Yes, sir.
My thing is, you're a chef and an owner, right? As a chef, how many years as a chef? Just a chef?
Well, I mean, I was a cook for 10 years.
A cook for 10 years. Okay.
I was a cook for 10 years. I didn't actually like embrace the chef title until I became chef de cuisine of Bar Sayor here in Seattle. And that's when I ran the kitchen. I set the schedule. I cut the lights on. I cut them off. I was managing and leading my team. So I didn't really embrace that title until someone technically gave me an opportunity. And that's another thing. I didn't get a lot of opportunities to embrace a sous chef title or a chef title until I got into my 10th into the 11th year of my career here in Seattle. And so like, that's a thing too. Like a lot of young cooks, they get right out of culinary school and they may be offered a job and they're called chef. And for me, like right out of culinary school, you're not a chef unless you're a cook team. You're a cook.
Yeah.
You're still learning.
And that's and what I was getting to is the different mindset between being a chef and being an owner or a restaurateur, right?
That's a whole nother
and
level.
now,
thing.
and yeah, and you've even added a third layer to that, because you just threw me off right there, because you went cook, chef, owner. Right, I was just thinking chef owner. I didn't even think about that. So that's crazy.
I'm gonna throw one more level on there just for the heck of it. Like, restaurateur, but like businessman, like what I'm doing with the chitlins and pimento cheese, and that nature, that's outside of the scope of that brick and mortar restaurant. So there's layers to who I am. You know, that's many years of going through like suffering and issues as a child. Learning from my teachers, my mentors, going through all kind of hardships, going to college, just being a student of everything. I'm trying to learn all the time from everyone. Like, just that's what it's about. And I'm applying that to like everything that I do. So that's what's up.
And the last thing I'm gonna say to you, you just put out a thing, I think a few weeks ago, someone on Instagram sent me, you made like was it a Haitian sandwich or a Haitian cuisine?
Yeah, yeah, thank you. So we had an entire Haitian menu at Solari Restaurant, and what we're doing is each month we're gonna change the menu up, and we're gonna represent the African diaspora and how Africans influence various cuisines around the country. So now this current menu, are you Haitian?
Yeah, he's.
You knew it was coming. You knew it was coming.
I like something's about to come up.
Oh yeah, you said Florida and St. Petersburg, so I'm like,
my best friend is Haitian, and I learned. I'm a Haitian by association now.
Yes. So you know.
But yeah, we're doing different menus, and we did Haiti. We showed our love to Haiti, and now we went to Brazil. There were so many Africans that were taken from Africa to Brazil, more than any other country, and their influence on the cuisine is huge. So that's what we're doing.
That's what's up, man.
Nice. And I will say, anytime you want to come to the East Side, you're learning new things. If you want to learn some golf, you want to take over a kitchen, you just let me know, because we love that.
If you want to take over a kitchen and do some virtual golf, Noah's your guy.
I appreciate that, Noah, man. You're a very generous and welcoming guy. You
absolutely. You pass this. But I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. You're so accomplished. You've achieved so much, and you're still so young. So I feel like the sky's the limit for you, and for you to take the time out and bless us knuckleheads. I mean, it means a lot, and we really appreciate it.
You feel like my brother, so it was easy peasy here.
Yeah.
Yo, we try and keep it chill, man. And we will be working on, once this COVID open up, you and I go be working on a project together. I got to figure out what, but I got to get you in on a project.
Save me a hoodie, and I'll bring you a corn dog.
Get a fair trade.
I think that's a good trade. That's a good trade.
Yo, but you don't understand. He's dead ass serious.
I will. Yeah.
People don't understand that I know how to make corn dogs too.
I know.
You make corn dogs?
I'm a man of many talents. Come on now.
Well, I know what ingredients going on the next sweatshirt.
I know, like this going. Corn dogs. Huh? Okay.
Corn dog. That's our new collaboration line.
Shit, that's what's up, man. Again, we appreciate you. We appreciate you making time for us during this crazy time.
Thanks for joining us.
No doubt.
Take care.
Take care.
Hey, what's up, world? We are back. Sound Table live and direct with my man Noah, my man Joey. Guys, amazing interview with the one, the only Eduardo Jordan. Takeaways, man. Noah, tell me one or two things that you took away from this interview.
There was a lot to digest, but I mean, from what he said, I mean, first of all, he's such a great wealth of knowledge for anyone in the food service industry. First thing would be his tips to up and coming chefs. I think that as someone who works in the food service industry and interviewed hundreds of different chefs and all of the spectrum of personalities and different types of chefs there are, his words of wisdom coming from someone like that, someone as accomplished as a 2 times James Beard Award winner, I thought was great. And I think he gave some great insight into for chefs, trying to make a name for themselves in the game. And then obviously I think he had some great input on the future of the food service industry. So takeout is a big one. And you know, is that here to stay? You know, in a few years, is that going to go away? I do think that takeout will be a bigger part of our business models moving forward. And so a lot of different places are kind of pivoting to meet that demand and, you know, live life post COVID with a different business model and a different emphasis on certain things. So hearing him talk about that, I thought was really a great perspective, and great for someone like myself to apply to, you know, future endeavors.
That's what's up. Joey, takeaways.
I have a lot of takeaways. First and foremost, why isn't this guy on TV? I'd much rather watch Eduardo Jordan on my TV than that Swedish Muppet chef. You know, I'd like, he's so
I want
entertaining.
him on
And
Vice though.
oh, dude, he's so talented.
He needs to
He's
be on
just-
Vice. If he's going on TV, we got to give a shout out. I need him on Vice so he could be real and authentic with it, not stuck doing some cookie cutter thing.
Well, also as a creative, he was really inspiring. I loved seeing his collaborations with brands like Dick's, which is such a Seattle icon, a Northwest Americana icon, collaborating with that, putting his own flavor twist on it and completely remixing it, which is exactly what they called it. And I'd love to see more artistic collaborations like that, because I do consider culinary arts as art, you know, as true art, as a full expression. And that's a man who's pushing it forward.
Nice. For me personally, what you guys both said both resonate with me as well. But I liked his art of the pivot. Right now I'm extremely fascinated with how business owners are trying to pivot, and while others try and quit. Right, and it's the survival of the fittest right now, unless you're a major corporation, in which case you get free money from the government just for existing. But we're not going to talk about those guys. We go keep it right here for the small, the medium-sized businesses, and his ability with 3 restaurants to pivot, take care of his community while doing so, take care of his employees as best as he can, while he's doing that, he's still paving the way for the future. Right, he's an activist. I got to give him a shout out because he spent time in Florida, and he knows, he grew up with some Haitians, so he knew what was going on. He's cooked some Haitian cuisine, so you know, he's near and dear to my heart because of that. But to me, with all the award winning and all the accolades, it's real easy to become real high society and real, you know, bourgeoisie with it. I think with the clothing brand Chitlins and what he's doing and his story, he's really rooted in his community. And in giving back, it wasn't an easy road for him, right? He talked about how all the stops he had to make to get there. So I appreciate all that insight, because I think that's real world insight that people tend to jump past to brag on the successes that they had. And I think that matters just as much.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, you know, the bandwidth that he has as a creative and you know, goes from clothing brands and merchandising to creating his own seasoning to obviously having brick and mortar restaurants. I don't know where the guy finds the time of day, but it inspires the hell out of me. So it was a great conversation.
Yeah, whatever that guy is having for breakfast is what I want, because
No, Joey, you're already too high energy, Joey. You can't have any, bro.
I don't know, man. That I think he's got me beat, and he's calm. He's calm about it, and he's got me beat. There's no way
When you got it, you got it, bro.
Yeah, and that's the guy's got it.
And that's what this podcast is about. It's about, you know, Sound Table, bringing people to you that you typically would not be able to have a conversation with or learn from or speak to, whether it's a topic, whether it's an individual. But our goal with Sound Table is to be able to bridge that gap and offer insight in the worlds or to people that you typically wouldn't have. So we want to thank our special guest, Eduardo Jordan, for coming on. Shout out to my man, Jason Hicks, for making that happen. And we look forward to being here with you. So Noah, where can they find us?
So you can find us soundtable.live on Facebook and Instagram. We will also have our YouTube link to our YouTube channel on there, where you can catch every single episode. If you missed an episode, don't worry, you can go back, rewatch it. We won't hold it against you. So please find us on there. And yeah, until the next episode, Have a great week, and we hope to see you back and tuning in.
Hi there. Did you like what you just saw? Did you like that video? Did you love that interview that we just did? If you did, make sure you hit that like button or the subscribe button over there around somewhere in this general lower area. Maybe you click that share button, send it to a fella, send it to somebody that you went to high school with who sent you something random that you didn't really care to watch but did anyway. Do all of those things and make sure you follow the Sound Table Live on all social networks, and we'll see you on the next one.